Well, it looks like we are on again for another Facebook Live. I just want to welcome everyone. I'm going to wait just a second and see who comes on. Let me know when you do. And if you could just post in the comments where you're watching from, and that'd just be great. And even if you're looking at it, hey, Shelly, thank you. Post in where you're calling from, or watching from, I should say. So it's good to be with you again today. And there's a topic that seems to be one of the most prevalent now as we're going through the situation that we all are on a global level for the first time ever, that everyone is really being dealt with scenarios that we've virtually have never had to deal with before. And the overall concept is, how do we make lemonade out of lemons? And so, and actually, sometimes lemons are a good thing. Hey, Jim, it's been a long time. Hope you're doing well. So, the topic today is just business creativity through adversity. In 1988, when I was diagnosed with MS, it was one of those things that I had to get creative. Hi, Gurleen. So we have Nebraska in the house. We have India in the house. So welcome, guys. Um, and I had to adjust. And what I had to really come to grips with is it wasn't going to be normal, but it was going to be enough. And so one of the things that, to put our arms around the whole concept, hi Deborah, and hi Darlene again, is that it's never any fun going through adversity. And so when it happens, it's really normal. It's something that kind of comes out of the blue. It's something that disrupts what we are planning to do or how we were going to do certain things. And it necessitates us getting out of our comfort zone. And so when we do that, we have there's a very old adage, hey, JC, is that when we, what does they say, adversity is the mother of invention or something like that. And so it really does. It puts the creative juices together with the need, and so now we have the opportunity to really to be able to think outside the box and to be able to benefit our connections at even a greater level. And what we get frustrated with at times is that we cannot directly help. There's nothing we can go out and do unless you have a medical background. Right now, there's nothing you can do to go to a hospital, maybe get blood, but it's really not something that we can have a direct connection to. But everyone that pretty much comes on this call are entrepreneurs, business owners, and sales professionals, so that we do have an opportunity to have a direct impact on the situation, on the adversity that we are dealing with right now. Jay Abraham, who really is the father of consulting on a corporate level in a really different way, has come out and said that if you have a product or service that benefits society, you not only have an opportunity, but you have a responsibility and obligation to take that beneficial product or service to the community. And so we can affect the economy. We can actually help people stay in business as they're going through the trials that we're going through right now. Now, what we may have to do is adjust. We may have to come at what we deliver in a little different way. Most of you know that I'm a professional speaker, a business coach. And so coming online pretty much for everything we do right now is a lot different. There's not the energy, not the connection with the audiences that we have when we're in person. But how are we adjusting? We're using the technology that we have at our fingertips. So the question that I have for you as we go into the action steps is, what product or service do you have that you in your mind can elevate as a necessity for those in the community that will affect the economy? So that's about receiving for yourself and also giving permission for those in the economy to receive as well. My financial planning background, one of the things that we realized early on is that in a recession, it's when people stop spending money, because our economy, the world economy, is based on cash flow. And a depression is when the fear gets to a certain point where no one is spending money and the engine really dries up. So, what can you do to elevate in your mind that what you have is not just a fun or a option for the community, but how can it be applied to where it has a dramatic effect on those that you serve? So, I'm going to give you a few action steps. So, uh, I'd like to have you ask the question, what does your community need right now? Not necessarily always what, I say you have to combine a need and a want, but hey, John, so we have California now as well. Um, it's not necessarily just what your community wants or needs, but it's a combination. And what I would really suggest here is you start asking your community what is it that they would like. And sometimes when you ask a question, and you can do this simply with using SurveyMonkey and just having a couple of questions there and getting a reflection back, what are their what's most important to them right now, is that they may come up with ideas and needs that you have never even thought of. And you're going to be able to create something that did not exist before the adversity happened. And so what we're going to do is many times we're going to come out with products, services, technology, processes that would not have happened if we hadn't gone through this experience. Not that I'm wanting to, and not that I'm wanting to do any other adversity experience, but what is it that stimulates us as human beings to change? And it's a pattern interrupt, and unfortunately sometimes it's a pattern interrupt that disguises itself as an adversity. And so asking your people, and then truly think outside the box. What have you always wanted to do, or what have you thought, wow, if this only existed, I could really benefit not only for yourself, but for the community? What was it? What would it be? And the last thing is, during this time, more than ever, we need to collaborate. We need to be able to bounce ideas off of each other. We need to look at how we have the ability to maybe combine our resources with folks in a similar industry or sometimes in the same industry. And how can we make a bigger impact? What is it that we can do right now that is going to affect people in a way that tomorrow, next week, they're going to find that they're in a better place? And so using adversity as a catalyst, as a stimulus, if you will, to think outside the box, to be able to say, what if? What if I did this? If we, what we're doing right now, for me, using the iPhone. iPhones and smartphones did not exist. I don't think. I think it's been in the last 20 years. So it was someone's idea. Someone saw a need, someone saw, and we know who, someone saw an opportunity. And the difference between them and many others is they chose to activate, they chose to engage, they chose to take the risk of putting that idea into practice and implementing it and then releasing it to the general public and saying, this is something new, and we had to get used to it. And now we look at it and say, how could we ever not use it? How could we live without it? In fact, my iPhone right now is starting to act up. I cannot make a phone call. So if any of you have been calling me, wondering why it always goes to voicemail, that's why the phone has decided to do something interesting. But the thing is that we have the ingenious within us. Be looking for that ability, even if you have the idea and you don't know how to implement it. That's okay too, because now that's where collaboration goes in. And be able to connect with others that have that ability to be able to implement, create, distribute, whatever it might be that is needed. And so I really would encourage all of you. It goes back to the three things that I've taught for many years. Be seen, be safe, be relevant. When you have those three things, not only in your business, but in your life, in your social life, in your mental, spiritual health, whatever it is that part of you, if you have those three things, you will find the connections and become that that magnet of individuals that is looking for the solutions that you have for them. So I wish you all a really great afternoon. Thank you so much for continuing to come on to the calls. If you have a topic that you would like me to connect with and to share on the Facebook Lives, please reach out, Gary at GaryBarnesInternational.com. And right now we have about 250 videos on YouTube. So if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, run over there and maybe just push that subscribe button and be noticed or notified when we put up brand new videos. And so appreciate you all, love you all, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you on the next Facebook Live next Thursday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Have a good one.